Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. On Transformation Tuesday, we're talking about how to transform everything from your real estate to your lifestyle to your laptop, everything. Evan Haskell is in the house, who is a dear cousin of mine. I love you so much, and is the founder of Urban Flat, and they really are transforming the way we live, travel, and our lifestyle. So that's why I brought you on the show, because you are rocking it.
Nice to be here, guys. Nice to have you.
Congratulations. So tell us, what is Urban Flat?
Yeah, so what Urban Flat's doing is we're helping multifamily developers actually convert their vacant inventory. We see a lot of buildings, being potentially overbuilt in some urban markets, and we're actually helping them take their inventory, furnish it, and offer furnished housing as a solution to, the many business travelers that travel for months at a time. We do a lot of housing for professional athletes, that would otherwise be living in a hotel for 5 months out of the season, or even entertainers. So it's just about taking, vacant apartments and furnishing them, and,
But you're helping people, because some people don't necessarily want to stay in a hotel, and they don't like Airbnb. You just don't know what you're going to get, right? So Urban Flat, what I love about it is that you literally go and you know what the level of furnishing, the level of class, the style that you like. It's very contemporary and you do it in gorgeous lofts and great apartments, all new.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about a lifestyle of having someone that's like they need to travel a lot, but they don't necessarily want to be in the hotel that charges them $30 to valet their car, and so on and so forth, right?
Well, our average stay is actually close to 14 days, so that's a pretty significant and long business trip. There's plenty of business travelers that also travel for months at a time, so we're almost like a hotel brand that operates within residential apartment communities. And again, it's a great business. We get to meet people from all around the world, and we can create environments to make people feel like they're at home. So they're able to cook a meal by having a kitchen, and do the laundry, and that's just something that a hotel will never be able to really replicate, the feeling of being home. So that's why people stay with us.
Love this. So I know you guys are everywhere, but what specific places are you currently?
Our largest market right now is actually the Silicon Valley, and that's because we work with some of these larger companies that are sending in consultants and contractors. Again, the San Francisco 49ers is one of our largest clients. We have a bunch of players that live with us during the season. So, the plan right now is to we have a pretty scalable and interesting product that many developers, across the nation are very interested in. So we're getting ready for that more national expansion, and that should be happening Q1 of next year.
Love it. What do you have in Miami?
Right. So it's very interesting that we mentioned the laptop lifestyle at the top of the show. You're very young to be such a successful entrepreneur. What was your secret?
Well, I think the secret is about understanding the value of time. Once you understand the value of time, when you're doing things that deep down maybe aren't really worth your time, you find ways to outsource it and optimize that. So it really started with myself having a desire to want to travel all across the world. I kind of used to really need to be there and be around my business like most business owners are. But the reality is that once you put yourself in a position where you can't necessarily be so hands-on, you need to develop, a skill set to be able to work remotely. So I got pretty good at that, and I really enjoyed, the traveling. So once, again, when you look at your time, you need to look for solutions to optimize. And we live in a world, in my business, you talk about just locks, right? Like August Smart Lock is a company that you can unlock a door. I can unlock a door if I'm in Bali, So that I think it's understanding the value of time and being open about, the technologies and platforms that exist to optimize that.
But what do you see the trends? Because you work with Guesty, you work with all these huge platforms that they're changing the reality of real estate. They're changing the reality of how we rent things. They're changing the reality of how we travel. Where do you see it going? Where do you see people desiring? How do they desire to live and travel?
Yeah, I think that people are going to be living furnished in the future. Especially within multifamily residential. Multifamily residential typically offers 12-month leases. They're unfurnished. And, millennials, they want to travel. They can't even hold a job for 12 months. How do you think they can hold an apartment? So I think just being able to rent a furnished apartment and have a flexible lifestyle, being able to, quote unquote, break that lease the same way that WeWork has shown tremendous space within the commercial real estate side, and taking Class A buildings and, building flexible office space. I think that companies like us and others will allow individuals to do the same on a multifamily level.
Yeah. What surprised you most about building this business?
Well, that, I think that anybody can. You know, I think that there's a lot of entrepreneurs that I meet who are a little bit fearful to kind of jump off the edge and sort of take that leap. But, you know, again, going back to that idea that the value of time, time is everything. You know, you don't have much time. So the only thing that you're going to do by waiting is waste time. And so that's why it's really important for me and anybody that I meet, you know, that's younger and, you know, has an idea. Like, you have nothing to lose. You can sleep on my couch. That's what I tell them, like, especially if it's a friend. You know,
I love that.
And I know that, you know, I'm blessed to have parents, and I can crash at home. So it's important to take risks when you're young, and go big.
The time thing is critical. One of my favorite sort of business authors is this guy, Richard Koch, and he talks about how time is the most valuable asset on the planet, and it becomes increasingly scarce and rare as you live your life, and it's the only thing, and it's completely unlike money because you can't save it, invest it, and then earn compound interest off of it later. Once it's gone, it's gone. Right. So it's incredible. So how has that informed the way you live your personal life?
Well, I like to have fun. You know, I think my cousin Erin does that. But, you know, like I said, I know what I'm passionate about as it relates to the business side, and that's being able to work with amazing people. But, you know, and I'm also able to combine the passion for travel. I mean, you know, our team takes team retreats. We were in Lake Tahoe. We just recently, a few of us came back from Israel and Iceland and London. So, you know, for me, it's using time to my advantage and really getting to explore the world.
But I have to say that, Evan, like, you are, I mean, honestly, I'm not just saying this because you're my cousin. You are one of the most extraordinary human beings I've ever met. Like, you are so giving. You're so committed to being the best self. Everyone around you thrives.
We're out here getting teary now.
Yeah, so I love you so much.
I love you too.
And you really, and I think that Urban Flat is profound in what it's doing for the market. And I want to talk a little bit and ask about, because you guys have raised capital. You did some startup stuff. So how, for somebody out there that's thinking of raising capital to take it to the next level, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them, you know, don't think so much about raising capital. Think about, you know, creating a business that generates revenue, right? And do that with a small amount of capital. You know, there's plenty of friends and family that believe in you, and I would start there versus going to, you know, larger time VCs. I think, you know, in this day and age, you see shows like Shark Tank, and, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars are getting thrown around. But what they don't tell you is that giving away 40% of your company on day one is probably the worst decision you can ever make. Giving 10% away is potentially a pretty bad decision too. Yes, there's different ways to run a business, but I would say go focus on your concept, go find your market, go find a way to generate revenue. And then once you've sort of increased your valuation, and that will be much more enticing to investors, and you'll get a much better valuation on the raise.
Great advice.
Fantastic.
So well said.
Why you're successful, brother.
So what are you most excited about within the business?
Within the business, it's really just impacting more people and growing on a much more, you know, potentially international level. I mean, for me, you know, over the past few years, it's really been more about my lifestyle, you know, as it relates to the business, you know, the people that are on my team and the many people that we get to meet around the world. You know, that's very fulfilling to hear stories from clients that say, hey, you know, this sort of reminds me of the first time that I ever stepped in my Uber and I realized that I never need to, you know,
change is a game
I never
changer.
need to get into a
You're
taxi.
a game changer.
Yeah, you know, we are disruptive, and some people don't like that. But, you know, if you're not disruptive, the world stays still. So it's important to, you know, keep moving forward. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next chapter.
So awesome. So tell people where they can personally follow you and find Urban Flat.
Yeah, so you can find Urban Flat, www.urbanflat.com, and you can find me, I suppose, on Instagram, or you can find me. If you need me, you'll find me. I think that anybody that you need to get to, you'll find.
I love you so much. Big shout out to Coburn Shepik, my son, who they work together as well, and just so excited for you guys. Big things going on. So,
Really excited.
all right,
Man.
stay
Thank you guys so
tuned.
much.